The chair of the Democratic Party, Basha, has advised that the Socialist Party's decisions in relation to the proposal for vetting of politicians will determine the opposition's behaviour moving forward within state institutions. In addition to calls from international institutions for the government to engage more in reducing youth immigration, the governor of the Bank of Albania has also raised some concerns over the emigration of the skilled labour force. Tirana is hosting a competition focusing on innovation in technology, which has seen 300 companies from across the region participate by presenting their project ideas. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 18th of September 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. The ruling Socialist Party's decision on the proposal for vetting of politicians will form the basis that will determine the behaviour of the opposition in institutions as well as with the upcoming local elections. This was the message delivered by the head of the Democratic Party, Basha, who accused Prime Minister Edi Rama of refusing to break political ties with crime, adding that this is the main mechanism that keeps Rama in power. The Democrats do not have it in mind to accept Prime Minister Rama's request for this issue to take the opinion of Venice, calling it an alibi to push and avoid the process. The DP parliamentary group has formally asked the head of the Assembly to convene the Legislative Council and the Law Commission on Friday to introduce the opposition's proposal to the Parliament. The Democrats are yet to explain which institutions will control the politicians, though Basha says it is important for the Socialist Party to discuss the pros and cons. In response to the SP's previous statements that the Special Anti-Corruption Structure and the National Investigation Bureau are already tasked with vetting of politicians, Basha responded that his proposal forms the referral mechanism that will provide evidence to these institutions. Enver Hoxha's grandson was arrested during an international action that unveiled a cocaine lab in Zibraka, Elbasan. During the operation, 11 people were arrested, including 2 Colombian nationals. Ermal Hoxha was convicted and sentenced to 10 years imprisonment by the Serious Crimes Court in July 2017. However, due to the eligibility for parole, the sentence has been shortened to 6 years and 8 months. Aura News has obtained the decision made by FIR Court Judge Piro Sota, which provided for the release on parole of Ermal Hoxha. The decision was made back on the 13th of September at the First Instance Court of FIR after Ermal Hoxha had filed his request for parole back in June. According to the decision, Judge Sota suspended the remaining 1 year and 6 months of his sentence, placing Hoxha on a good behaviour bond for the remaining time of the sentence. During his parole period, Hoxha must remain in contact with the Provisional Service Office and is forbidden to meet with anyone who has been found guilty of a criminal offence. The decision has not yet been released publicly, but Aura News sources have confirmed that the court has accepted Hoxha's request on the grounds that he had met the deadline in accordance with the law after having served 3/4 of the sentence. It has also been learned that Ermal Hoxha received exclusively positive evaluation reports in the lead-up to his parole hearing. The facts that he is the head of a family and has a minor child were also taken into consideration when assessing his eligibility for release on parole. But for the Democratic MP, Ervin Saliani, the release of Ermal Hoxha was allowed as per order of the Prime Minister and is a knife in the back of the internationals investing in justice reform. Kosovo President Hashim Thaçi has stated that his proposal for border correction comes as a result of Serbia's always controversial approaches to recognising independence. The head of state for Kosovo underlines that Belgrade has decided to maintain a negative approach to this issue despite international pressure. Under these conditions, he underlined that no one can think that the West will force Serbia to recognise Kosovo, once again emphasising the importance of reaching an agreement. Further, Thaçi stated that with the correction of the borders, Presevo, Medvedja and Bujanovac will be returned to Kosovo, but did not provide details regarding territorial parts that may become part of Serbia. In closing, the President of Kosovo insisted that an agreement can only truly be reached if there is mutual recognition. Albania is increasingly suffering from the emigration of qualified persons. Governor of the Bank of Albania, Sejko, when speaking at an activity for increasing productivity, emphasised that our country still has a lot of work to do to curb the emigration of the skilled labour force. According to Sejko, this initiative would have an impact on the productivity growth of the Albanian economy. The productivity of the Albanian economy is linked with the improvement of business management skills and the concentration from construction and trade towards industry and export services. Attending the event was the World Bank Executive Director for Albania, Patrizio Pagano. During the presentation, Pagano pondered the phenomenon of slowdown in the growth of developed economies in the post-crisis period and focused on the analysis of factors. The Albanian state lacks the financial security needed to guarantee the maintenance of all road axes. Minister of Infrastructure and Energy, Damian Gjiknouri, stated during the report on the Economy Commission that total road maintenance requires €50 million. However, only €30 million have been forecast to be funded under the budget. Gjiknouri sees the implementation of tolls for some national roads, such as Tirana-Elbasan Road, as being a potential solution. Today, a minimum of about €50 million are required for the normal maintenance of our road system. Currently, the state budget has agreed to fund just under 30. Previous governments have not funded more than 2 billion lek, said Damian Gjiknouri. 2 billion lek equates to less than €16 million in today's currency exchange market. Gjiknouri went on to add, the time has come for road users to contribute to the maintenance of the road. The principle is the one that uses the road and consumes more is the only solution found by all the countries of the world, the more poorly budgeted countries such as Albania included. Gjiknouri urged the approval as soon as possible for a $16 million fund for the completion of the Tirana-Elbasan Road. In total, the cost of this route has reached $450 million, or $38 million more than was first expected. It has taken more time and money from the state budget than previously thought. The planned conclusion was the 27 kilometres of road would be built at a cost of $312 million. Yet today, we're talking about $450 million, said Damian Gjiknouri. Meanwhile, the head of the Economy Commission asked the prosecution to continue investigations into abuses committed during the construction of the Tirana-Elbasan Road. I want to make an appeal today to the prosecution of the Republic. The administration has done its job investigating all this history. Now, the prosecution should speed up the investigation of everything that has happened during the construction of this road, said Erion Brache. The Economy Commission, as well as the Foreign Commission, agreed to take $16 million from the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development, or OECD, in the form of a soft loan for the completion of the remaining segment of the Tirana-Elbasan Road. Despite seeing a charge for drinking water on the water bills, citizens of Albania do not receive potable drinking water when they turn on the taps in their homes. An EU project has been proposed that aims for safe, potable water to be the norm, as well as increasing the occurrence of recycling. Deputy Prime Minister Sejko Messi said that concrete actions for potable water will be launched throughout the territory. It is time to give concrete examples and concrete actions to address such a vital issue. Earth, air and water are not a legacy of our ancestors. In fact, it's one we must pass on to our children, said Sejko Messi. The German government has also agreed to co-finance this project worth €6.3 million. We are working together to supply Albania with drinking water. Germany, besides the financial assistance in this project, will also help Albania with its technical experience, said German Ambassador to Albania, Susan Schutz. The drinking water reform project is expected to improve the performance of water supply and sewerage companies, as well as strengthen the position of the National Agency for Water Supply, Sewerage and Waste Infrastructure. Over 300 companies from across the region gathered in Tirana to present new innovative projects and ideas related to startups in the fields of tourism, technology, banking, energy and telecommunications. Through the Smart City project, to name one of the many projects that amplify the communication between the municipality and residents, Veliaj said the number of announcements have increased significantly, as well as the efforts to help others. In addition to the major projects that the municipality has already implemented, the next focal point of investment is one of Tirana's most iconic buildings, the Pyramid, which is set to be transformed into an information technology centre. Along with the Prime Minister and the Albanian government, we have decided to turn Tirana's most iconic building back to a kind of alternative learning centre for 5,000 young people every month who want to learn information technology. As long as we are clear that the future is now and not tomorrow, that it is already happening, and we unite those who create with those who invest, we can have one of the biggest success stories in the Balkans, affirmed Erion Veliaj. Foreign Minister Ditmir Bushati said the technological development combats corruption and enhances transparency. For the first time in Tirana, the Festival of Innovation was held and organised by the municipality and the Chamber of Commerce and Industry. This aims to promote the delivery of innovative ideas among startup companies in a single and competitive format, as well as enticing potential investors. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.